Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to be playing two different decks again, naturally. It's a solo play. And the first deck has this hero inside, Reeve, which is her cards are based off it's a hero that's based off stealing cards from your opponents. So this is the hero. And you probably can't read it, but it says for this particular hero, her effects are cards that are moved from the battlefield to an opponent's player's hand are moved to the bottom of their decks instead. Then the second effect that this hero has is enemy creatures you control play gain quick. So that's what this deck is built around, stealing cards and then being able to attack the same turn that the cards are played, that the creatures are played. So I've shuffled this deck, I'll place it here. Now for the other deck. This one is Viscera, and actually this great creature, Forefather. And this is a brilliant great creature, so you can only have 12 of them, 2 brilliant cards on your side of the battlefield at any point in time. And it says Warcry, you may give another creature the stats of this creature. And if you do, move this creature back into your hand, then double its crystal costs. So after you play this creature for a crystal cost of 2, which is at the top right, play it, and then after you play it, the Warcry may or may not activate. It's your choice. Actually, no, the Warcry isn't your choice. The Warcry activates if there's a target on the battlefield. So you play it. Oh yeah, this one does say you may. So this is your choice actually. This Warcry says that you may give a creature another creature. So it's giving you an option. But if it doesn't give you an option, then all Warcries always activate when you play the card. So you play it. It says you may give another creature the stats of this creature. If there's a creature here, then I may give this one the other creature the stats of 1 attack points, 2 defense points, and 1 health points. And then after I do that, I move this creature back into my hand, and then I just show it. That's what expose is. It says move it back to your hand, expose it. So show it to all players, and then double its crystal cost. So the next time I play this card, it'll have a crystal cost of 2. So I have to tap 2 crystals to play it again. While the first time I only played it for 2. I have to tap 4 crystals to play it. While the first time I only tapped 2 crystals to play it. So I've put the basic domains on the board. This one is a wind domain for this deck, while this one's a water domain for this deck with the area Baron. With the Draenei Reeve hero. So let me shuffle it a little bit. Do a little bit of shuffling. And decks can only have a minimum of 40 cards and above. There are no maximum, just a minimum of 40 cards. So you can have 40 cards, you can have 200 cards, but you can't have 39 cards in your deck or 20 cards in your deck. So I place this here. You notice how this deck is probably bigger, it's thicker than the other deck. Yeah, because this one's more precise than this one. So you can see it from the thickness of it. That's it. So each player at the start of the game, each player starts with 27 health points. So I've wrote it down, 27, 27. Each player puts a basic domain of their choice on the battlefield, on their side of the battlefield. They draw 9 cards. 1, 2. Let me shuffle this one again because it's a bigger deck. So I just don't want to be, drawing the same cards multiple times. There we go. So I draw 9 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I actually like the cards that are in my hand for you know, I like it a little bit. Actually, no, I don't, because there actually aren't any basic crystals here. So there's a crystal, 2 crystals, but these have a cost to play them because they're advanced crystals. Advanced crystals have a cost to play them. Basic crystals, you can play them for free. I have 2 skills. These are Journey Reef skills, so they're based off stealing cards. And actually, these aren't bad, but they have a high cost. This one's a 6 cost, has a 6 ether crystal cost, while this one has a 13 cost overall. So 6 ether crystals, 7 mana crystals. So let me show you. 6 ether crystals, and 7 mana crystals, if you can see it. So this hand is actually not that good, actually. If I don't draw a crystal, then I'm pretty much just screwed. So I'll shuffle my hand, because since I don't like the hand that I dealt myself, and I drew 9 cards that last turn. This turn I'll shuffle my hand. I shuffle my hand to my deck again, then draw 8. So I mulligan. So now I draw 8 cards. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this time I still don't have any crystals. So I shuffle my hand again. Let me even see if there's any crystals. Yep, there are. This is what usually happens when you have a deck, filled with a lot of cards. Sometimes you just don't draw your crystals. You really have to be particular with the amount of crystals that you put in your deck. Too many crystals, and you'll be drawing too many crystals instead of cards that you actually want to play. And not enough crystals, and you won't have enough crystals to play. You won't have enough crystals to play the cards that you have in your hand. So let's try again now. I did 9 first time, 8 the second time. Now I'm doing 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just gonna stick with it. This hand still doesn't have any crystals, but there's an effect in the game. There's a mechanic in the game that lets you draw more cards. So during the game, I'll end up drawing more cards just to offset the fact that I don't have enough crystals in my hand. I don't have any crystals in my hand. So this one, I've decided to stick with this. Now I'm drawing 9 cards for this one. The next deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Still no crystals in this one either. So shuffle a mulligan, shuffle my hand right into my deck. Now I draw 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And still no crystals. I draw 7 cards. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. And then this time I actually have a basic crystal that doesn't have a crystal cost on the left side. I mean the right side. So who starts first? Um, it doesn't matter. I'll make this side start first. So at the start of a turn, if there are only two players playing, the first player that starts the first player that starts the game doesn't get to draw a card at the start of their turn. But if there are more than two, then the first player gets to draw a card at the start of the turn. So there are only two players theoretically playing, me and the other guy. So I play Crystal, and I have nothing else to play. I can play this domain, but it has an effect that says give a creature +2 attack points. I haven't played a creature yet, so I don't want to use it right now. I have a crystal, also 1 cost. This is an advanced crystal that's worth 2 crystals instead of just 1. Basic crystals are just worth 1. This one's worth 2. It's the common version. There's a for this common version is worth 2. The rare version is worth 3. The unique version is worth 4, and the brilliant version is worth 5. This is a common version for an advanced crystal. I have nothing else to play for this turn. I end my turn. This player draws a card, and still no crystals. So what I'll do is I'll overdraft. That means draw extra cards, but for every extra card you draw, you won't be able to draw a card on your following turns. So if you draw 1 extra card, your next turn you won't be able to draw a card at the start of your turn. If you draw 2 extra cards, your following 2 turns you won't be able to draw a card at the start of your turns, and so forth and so on. If you draw 3 cards, and that starts after you draw your first card. So I've drawn my natural card that I'll draw at the start of my turn. Now I can choose to overdraft. That means draw extra cards. So I'll just overdraft until I get a mana crystal or 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll overdraft 5. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I'll overdraft 5. And now I'll just take 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on my following 5 turns, at the start of my turn, I won't be able to draw a card. So that's the downside of it. So you pretty much the overdraft feature just lets you draw your future cards right now instead of waiting. So I've overdrafted 5. Now I have crystals to play. Excuse me. I play 1 mana crystal. I tap that 1 mana crystal to play Windbreak, which states slant 4 at the top. Yeah, this camera is really not that clear. Slant 4. And that means look at the top 4 cards of your deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you can either choose to leave them back at the top in any order or move them to the bottom of your deck. So I'll leave 2 at the top of my deck and move 2 to the bottom of my deck. So that's it. I've played it. I've done the effects. Since it's a spell, once you finish the action it tells you to do, you move it into your mortuary. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 cards in my hand. I can only have a maximum of 9 cards in my hand at the end of my turns. So I'll remove 2 skills. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 2 skills are removed. And how the skill works is you'll need a hero on the board before you can play a skill. And the hero that you need on the board is written on the bottom right here. So right now, for this skill, I need a Drenny Reef hero to be on my side of the board before I can play this skill. So it's the requirements are much stricter compared to other cards in the game, but they also have more effects, and they're also usually more powerful. And skills are always based up the heroes. So that's it. At the start of a turn, draw a card. I have nothing else to play, so I'll play this one. This diamond mana crystal has a crystal cost of a mana crystal cost of 1. I have 1 mana crystal on the board, so I tap it. I have nothing else to play and enters the battlefield tapped. So I tapped the mana crystal, basic mana crystal to play this, and this also enters battlefield tapped, so they're both tapped, and I won't be able to use it this turn since I've already tapped them. And then I just wait till my next turn. I end the turn, and since I overdrafted last turn for this side, I just have to, this turn I won't be able to draw a card. I just start my turn. So that's it. I'll play another crystal. And I tap 1 to play this. This is a brilliant advanced card. And it says this is an Archmage Great Creature. This is a creature because it has creatures have this belt like design. Only creatures have a belt, and you can obviously the image is also an image of a creature. And this is a human creature, written right there. And it says the first spell you play this during your turns gains your choice of +1 spell damage or +1 spell effect until the end of turn. And what spell effect and spell damage is let's say for this card says deal 4 damage to an enemy leader, right? If I give this this card that says deal 4 damage to an enemy leader +1 spell damage, it'll deal 5 damage to an enemy leader. But if I give it +1 spell effect, it will deal 4 damage to 2 enemy leaders. So that's the difference between effect and damage. Effect increases the number of targets or the numbers, any number of the card that isn't related to damage, that dealing damage. While damage only increases things that deal damage. So that's pretty much how it works. And I've played this. This is a mana crystal. This is an ether crystal. While this one requires a mana crystal, which the blue signifies. The blue crystal signifies a mana crystal, and a yellow crystal signifies an ether crystal. So before I can play this, I'll need a mana crystal, which I do have. So that's why I played it. I won't be able to use this ether crystal unless I have a card that has an ether crystal cost, which I only have 1, and this one requires 6 of them. I only have 1. So I've played this, and I'll end my turn. So I have nothing else to play. I'll untap everything. At the start of your turn, you untap all tapped cards. Now this one I have 3 mana crystals to play with. And since I have 3 mana crystals, I can play this card, this Metro Crystal, that costs 3 Metro Crystals. And any Metro cards that have a Metro Crystal cost, you can use any crystal to play them. So I can use 3 mana crystals to play this card. I can use 3 ether crystals to play this card. I can use 2 ether and 1 mana crystal to play this card. So it's pretty much just like a wild card, a wild crystal cost. So I tap 3. This also enters the battlefield in the tapped orientation. I tap it. I have nothing else to play, but I'm just gearing up. I have three creatures in my hand, but 2 of them have a 6 cost. 2 of them have 6 crystal costs, and one has a mana crystal cost of 1. So I'll just wait till my next turn to play them. So this one still can't draw a card. There's 3 turns left after this turn before I can draw a card. Well, 4 turns left. And I really don't want this I think I'm falling behind. since I really have nothing else to play. So I'll play this card, Enthralling Symphony. This is a Metro Crystal cost card, so I can tap both Ether and mana to play it. It has a 2 cost. So I tap 2 to play this, and it says discard your hand, then draw 9 cards. Place this on top, and its ability, which is the water, I choose the water ability, which says move up to 3 cards from your mortuary to the top of your deck in any order. I've only moved 1, so now I discard my hand. Now I draw 9 cards. This actually has +4. I forgot about this effect. Give the first play you play during your turn gives +1 spell damage, +1 spell effect, your choice. I choose +1 spell effect. So when I discard my hand and draw 9 cards, with the +1 spell effect, I'll draw 10 cards instead. So I discard my hand and draw 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's it. Place this in my mortuary. And I don't really have that much to play. But I played Mana Crystal. And then I'll slam 4 again with the Windbreak. Slam 4. Which is look at the top 4 cards of my deck. And then place any of them at the top or bottom of my deck in any order. So that's it. Place this in my mortuary after I'm done. And I have nothing else to play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this one attacks. I think I played it last turn. So it attacks that player. So 27 minus 1. That's what the attack points. When a creature attacks, it deals its attack points as attack damage. So I deal one damage to the opponent player that has 27 health. So 27 minus 1, 50. Nah, 26. So this player gets now. I've attacked. Nothing else to play. And I end my turn. I have 7 cards in my hand, or 6 cards, however much it is, less than 9. And my turn, as this player's turn, I'll tap everything, draws a card, and starts their turn. So now this equals 4 crystals, metro crystals. This equals 3 mana crystals. And metro crystals, you can use it to play any card with any crystal cost, as opposed to a crystal cost that can be used to play any a metro crystal cost. You can play it. A card with a metro crystal cost you can play using any crystals. A metro crystal can be used to play any card. A card with a metro crystal cost can be played using any crystal. A metro crystal can be used to play any card. So that's the difference. So these are 4 metro crystals, 3 mana crystals. So that's 7. Tap this one to play this. And this equals 4 crystals as well. So 4, 4, 5. 1, sorry. So about 9 crystals that I have now. So I tap 4, 5, 6, 7. I tap 8, but I play 6. So I have 2 left on this one, on this metro crystal. And I have 1 left, 1 mana crystal left. So I can either play. So I have a three crystals left. I can either play a Metro Crystal, another Metro Crystal that has a 3 crystal cost, or I can play this card twice. The first time I play it, it will be a 1 cost. First time I play this card will be 1 cost. I tap this one to play it. And then I give this creature that has 3 attack points, 2 defense points, 2 health points, +1, +1, +1. I give it the stats of this creature. So then it will have 4 attack points, 3 defense points, and 3 health points. And then I take this creature back because that's Warcry. Warcry, you may give it another creature the stats of this creature. I did that. And then now I take it back into my hand, show it to all players, and then double its crystal cost. So now it has a 2 crystal. Now it costs 2 crystals to play. I play it again with 2 crystals. I do the same thing again. Now this creature will have 5 attack points, 4 defense points, and 4 health points. Then I take it back again. It still has 2 crystals because each time it goes from your hand or from a zone, like let's say from your hand is a zone, the battlefield is a zone, your deck is a zone, and your mortuary is a zone. So every time it moves from one zone to the next, any effects that it gains, that a card gains, resets. So it costs 2. It costs 2 in my hand. When I play it, it goes back to 1. And I take it back again. That's cost 2 again because the effect goes back. The thing goes back into effect. You may expose it, add it to your hand, then double its crystal cost. Now its crystal cost goes back to 2, and that's it. This creature is a 5 cost, 5 attack points, 4 defense points, 4 health points. So I've used all my crystals to play that. Now this player's turn. Untap every crystal I have. And this hand actually is not that good. Simply because I have crystals now, but none of my removals. I only have 2. Excuse me. None of the removals that I have can deal with this creature. I only have 1 creature on the board, and I like the effect of the creature, so I don't want it. I don't want it to die. But at the same time, I don't want to be taking 5 damage every turn, or possibly more, because next turn that player will have even more crystals to buff this. To buff this creature. So I put a crystal down. I have to survive 1, 2. I have to survive 2 more turns before I can do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in 2 more turns, I could probably play this. So what this side just needs to do is survive a few more turns so I can draw more cards and hopefully start stealing cards and start stealing creatures. That's the downside of this type of deck. That buff is buffs 1 creature or a few creatures. Is that this hero on this side has cards that steal creatures. So as soon as I can play my hero, I'll be able to start stealing these. I can probably steal this creature and any other creature that it has. So I just have to survive enough to be able to play my hero. To not to have enough crystals on the board to play it, and also to actually have it in my hand. So I'll tap 1 to play this slant 4, windbreak again. 2, 3, 4. Look at the top 4 cards in my deck. And actually, this is actually not bad. I have my hero, which costs 5 mana, 5 ether crystals, and 5 mana crystals, with the total crystal cost of 10. So it has a 10 crystal cost, but it's split in between two crystals. So if I do it this way, next turn, within the next 2 turns, I'll be able to play 2 more ether crystals. So I'll have 6 and 6. I'll still need 4 more. Yeah, I'll still need 4 more crystals to play this hero, which I'll probably get. Yeah, I'll get it. So what I need to do is put this here. Yeah, so this is pretty much how I'll do it. And no, I'm not gonna, or maybe I should, right? I was gonna put this at the bottom of my deck, but maybe I should actually just leave it here, just in case, because its effect is actually pretty useful. So I'll leave it there. Put this in my mortuary. So 3 more turns. I just have to survive 3 more turns. Hopefully I can. But that's it. I'm not attacking. This untap everything. Let me just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cards in my hand. Untap everything. Draw a card. And then this turn. So I have 4, 8, 10, 11. I have 11 crystals overall to play with. So I can use all the 11. I can use 10 to play this card. And this has, it's just a perfect 1, 1, 1 with a 1, crystal. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I can play it 5 times because now it has a crystal cost of 2. I can play it 5 times and buff this to 10 attack points, 9 defense points, and 9 health points. And I think I probably should do that. Okay, I'll play 9 times. So I'll play 10 times. I'll tap this. That'll equal 10. So this will have 10 attack points, 9 defense points, 9 health points. This one. And then I play this. I tap the last crystal to play Temple of Anger. Give a creature you control plus 2 attack points. So now it'll have 12 attack points. Now this creature will have 12 attack points, 9 defense points, and 9 health points. And then I attack with it. I choose to block with this creature. So this creature dies because this creature only has one defense points and 1 health points. And the 12 attack points will be deducted from the health points, the defense point first, then the health points. If you deduct it, this creature will have negative 10 health points left. And when the creature's health point goes to 0 or below, it dies. And after a creature dies, you move into your mortuary. So this dealt 12 damage to this creature. This creature dies and goes into my mortuary. And now this turn, I still have nothing to play. I play a ether crystal, and I end my turn. This turn again, draw a card. I do the exact same thing again by playing this creature 5 times. So this one goes up now to 22. Then I play a crystal. I play Temple of Anger again, plus 2. Play Temple of Anger. You can only have one advanced crystal on the board at a time. So this one goes into your mortuary, and this one replaces it. So plus 2 attack points. So now this creature will have 24 attack points instead of 12. Previously it had 12 plus 12 again is 24, and now it has 14, I think. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 14 defense points and 14 health points. So this creature right now has 24 attack points, 14 defense points, and 14 health points. And then it attacks. So 27 minus 24 is 3. That's it. Still my turn. Now it's this player's turn. I play another Ether Crystal. There's nothing else to do. Nothing at all to do. I have a skill in my hand. I have a card that costs 8. I only have 8 mana crystals. I only have 3 mana crystals on the board. This card costs 4 mana crystals. I only have 3 mana crystals on the board. And the last one costs 5 mana crystals. And that's pretty much what usually happens when you have a deck that has high cost cards off a crystal. Let's just say this one's a mana crystal. If you have a deck that consists of multiple crystals, mana and ether, it's best not to have, unless you first of all, it's best not to have a big deck filled with cards, because it makes it harder for you to draw the crystals that you need at this. And also, if it's even, it's even more, I guess I can't figure out the word, but you should, if you have a deck that has multiple crystal costs, cards with different crystal costs, you definitely shouldn't have a bigger deck. Try to stick to a smaller deck. That way you can actually draw the crystals that you need for the cards. And you really shouldn't have decks that have multiple crystal costs with cards that have high crystal costs. So this 8 cost mana crystal, it's not really useful. It's not really that good for this deck, because since the deck has so many different crystals, 2 different crystal costs, it'll make it much harder to play a card that has a higher crystal cost, simply because you'll be drawing 2 different crystals. If this was all mana crystals, I would have been able to play these 2 cards that has a 4 crystal cost and a 5 crystal cost. But since these are 2 different crystals, I'm stuck with half and half. You see? So when you're making a deck with multiple crystal costs, cards with multiple crystal costs, don't try to pick high crystal cost cards in that deck, unless you have only 1 or 2. Make the crystal costs as low as possible for the cards. Choose cards with lower crystal costs, because they just make it easier for you to play your cards, than having cards with high crystal costs and not have enough crystals to play it. Even though if you count all the crystals you have on the board, you have more than enough to play it. But since there's 2 different crystals, they're mixed, you just won't be able to play it. So this deck obviously loses, because there's still 24 damage here, and I have none to play to defend against, defend against it. So I untap this card. I just end the turn, because I have nothing else to play. Untap it, draw a card, then I attack again and deal 24 damage. So 3 minus 24, negative 21. So this player loses, or it's eliminated from the game, and that player wins the game. And you can see how more efficient it is having a smaller number of cards in your deck makes the deck more efficient. Having a bigger number of cards in your deck just makes it a lot less efficient. So that's it for this video. It was supposed to be a short video, but I guess it's relatively short compared to the videos I used to make. And in the future, I probably won't be. I'll try to make it faster. So I won't be explaining too much about the cards like I did today. Like today, I'll just try. I'll just go through the brief, details about the cards and the process. I won't really go too much in details about it, just so that the videos are much shorter. So if you really want to know more about the videos, watch the beginning of the previous recordings that I have. They go Previous recordings are much longer, but they go through the details for you. So it makes it much easier for you to understand what's going on right now. So that's it for this video. I'll see you next time. I'll try to make more. I like this deck, but I think I've put too many cards in it, so it's not really as good as it used to be. And this deck is actually very powerful. Draining Reef Hero is actually very powerful against this type of deck. It's just that I'm not drawing any of them, and I'm only drawing the skills. But that's it for this video. I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.